Hey everyone, welcome to part 16 of my no armor, no ranged weapons, no deaths and fist only playthrough of Demon Souls. Continuing on from the previous part, I'm still in the Prison of Hope and I've gone through the fourth and third floors, bypassed the second, I haven't looked at that yet, and here I am making my way through the first floor. The general layout of Prison of Hope was coming back to me the more I played through the level. I'd only been through this once before in my first playthrough, so it was still pretty confusing for me. But one thing I did remember was there were a set of silver bracelets somewhere in the Prison of Hope, and I thought they were on this floor. The reason I remembered about them was I played a male character in my first playthrough, and a male character can't wear the silver bracelets. They're specifically for a female character. There they are there. I didn't know they were there, but that's where I found them. I suspected they were around here though. Now, the silver bracelets increase the amount of souls you earn by 10%. I remembered specifically that that's what they did because I was disappointed I couldn't get 10% extra souls in my first playthrough. As a female character though here, I can wear them and get an extra 10% in souls. However, I'm also doing a no armor playthrough. So here I am debating whether or not I would put them on, and I looked at their armor rating and it says that they provide only 2 in protection, so I didn't really care about that. That was so low. I considered this still to be no armor, or as good as no armor. I really wanted them on for the 10% extra souls. Not that it was necessary, like I could have left them off, but the 10% extra souls were really going to help me with trying to increase the amount of damage that my fists were doing. With boss fights taking up to 20 minutes, I really wanted to increase the damage I could do, and short of having fist weapons, I thought, yeah, I want to earn more souls so that I can increase my strength. So I decided to put the silver bracelets on, and I do wear them for the rest of this playthrough. And technically, yes, that means I'm wearing a piece of armor, but I'm still considering it no armor because they basically do no damage reduction. I mean, they're so close to zero as I mean, I really don't care about 2 damage reduction. So yeah, but I do care about the 10% extra souls to maybe make this run go a little bit faster. So from this point forward, I will be wearing the silver bracelets. Now to this prisoner horde beast. I really wasn't sure if I could beat this enemy with fists. In my first playthrough, I beat it entirely from a distance with magic. I think I used some arrows as well. And I remember in my first playthrough, when I got near it, all its flailing was really damaging. And I wasn't sure if this thing could just like flail and kill me in an instant. But I wasn't going to skip it. I am trying to do as much in this playthrough as I can. And I quickly realized if you wait for it to shoot its projectile attack, then you've got a small amount of time in which you can go in and get some hits in before it starts flailing everywhere. Now the flailing can be really damaging if you get caught by it, but generally I worked out pretty quickly you can get 2 or 3 punches in before the flailing can get you. But if you let the flailing get you, yeah, I reckon it could kill you pretty quickly. Look at my health just from that. But I wasn't concerned because really it came down to just being patient with it. Just waiting for it to fire a bolt, going in and doing some hits, or waiting for it to stop flailing, going in and doing some hits, and just generally being very patient and whittling its health down one bit at a time. And I have to admit, I was pretty disappointed to really not get much out of that apart from 1,000 or so souls. But ah well, that's the way it goes. Now, like most of my Prison of Hope run, I was really quite confused by these levels. I was also very wary because I knew there was probably a hole in the floor around here somewhere that I could fall down, and if I fell into it, that would be the end of my run. So I had to move around very cautiously. I also knew I hadn't done the second floor yet, and that somewhere around here maybe was the second floor key. So I was kind of looking for that as well, since I didn't know exactly where that was. And I was good to be cautious here because there's that hole, and I remember almost running off in that direction when I thought, oh yeah, there's no hole up this side, but there it was. I also momentarily considered not dropping down on these ledges to get these items. I didn't really need these items. As far as I was aware, I thought they were weapons or whatever. I didn't think they were souls or anything useful to me in this playthrough. And the risk of falling off and dying from a ledge is you know, maybe a little bit too much to take when you don't need what's out there. But like I said, I still wanted to complete as much of the game as possible. And I did remember from my first playthrough, I never really felt like I was at risk of falling off these ledges when I went out on them the first time. So yeah, I only momentarily considered not going out on them, but I did it anyway. Here I went out on the ledge again because I could see an item up there and I wasn't sure if there was a way to get to that item from here. I couldn't remember the way to get to that item at this point, and yeah, so I was just checking to see if I'd missed like an opening here or something, but I hadn't. The thing about playing Demon's Souls through a second time like this is, as I proceeded through each of these levels, like, they would come back to me in time. I would start to remember, oh yeah, you get to this thing by doing that and so forth. But initially, I still kind of had to see the levels for that to happen. And I hadn't seen enough of the Prison of Hope yet for me to work out or to remember how to get to that item. Now, I had seen enough of this ballista. The first time I did this area in my first playthrough, I rolled through and I made it first attempt. However, I didn't want to risk it. I thought I could probably do it, but I definitely didn't want to risk getting killed there by... I mean, if I had pressed just one button with a slightly wrong timing, that would have ended my run if I tried to dodge under all those ballistas. So I decided not to go that way, since there is another way to get around behind it and not have to dodge through it. If you dodge through it, there's a trophy, but I already have that trophy from my first playthrough, so I really didn't want to take the risk. But I did pick up the Wardens Key just in front of the ballista's arrows there, and I wasn't sure what that opened, but yeah, I thought, okay, time to backtrack and see what I can open with that. And the Warden's Key didn't open this, so I was like, maybe that's the 2F key that is needed for that. And yeah, so now I didn't know what the Warden Key opened or where the 2F key was. You'll see me stop here and kind of stare down there and then look to the left and then turn around and go back in here, and this is me trying to rack my brain about, now where did I get the 2F key in my first playthrough? I'm like, is it around here? Is it somewhere else? I knew there was a key in the Tower of Latria, and I couldn't remember where that was at this point, but I knew there was a key there for this area. But I thought the 2F key was somewhere around here, and I'd maybe just walked past and missed it, so I decided to go back up and check. So far, most of the keys had been on the floor on which you use them. So my assumption was the 2F key was on the second floor here somewhere. But with that principle, for the life of me, I couldn't remember what the Wardens Key could possibly be used for out in the area near the ballista. I couldn't think of a single door out there that needed a key. So yeah, I had no idea what the Wardens Key did at this point. To deal with this Mind Flayer, I thought if I lure it in here, I can constantly backstab it, and because it's in this room, I should be able to circle around it. But lo and behold, after the first backstab, the damn thing got up and stood with its back to the wall and kept doing that same attack that knocks you down. And for a moment here, I was thinking, oh man, I've made a mistake. I can't get up, and it's going to keep knocking me down until I'm dead. But fortunately, these things aren't as hard as I first thought they were going to be with fists, and yeah, pretty easy to kill in the end. So I was getting a bit confused at this point because all of the cell doors were opening, and I was wondering, wait on, did I pick up the second floor cell key after all, or is something, what's happening here? And then when that one appeared to be locked, I realized, oh no, some of them are just not locked and some are locked. And the ones that are locked still required the 2F cell key. Here we have Lord Riddell. He's one of 2 NPCs that are locked up in the Prison of Hope that you have to free. Initially, or right at this point in the game, I assumed it's because I didn't have the second floor cell key. That's why I couldn't open his cell. So I thought if I could find the 2F cell key, I could probably open his cell, but I wasn't 100% sure of that though, because I knew there was another NPC that also needed a special key to unlock their cell, and I didn't know. Obviously, I thought maybe it's the 2F cell key for both of them, but there was something in my mind about my first playthrough that I had to do with the Tower of Latria to get a key there, and I couldn't remember if that key was for him or if that key was for the other NPC. And I'd already played through the Tower of Latria, so I couldn't remember why I already didn't have that key. So anyway, I decided just to play on, and good thing I did, because straight away I realised the Warden's Key opened this gate that I hadn't been through before. Here I realized I'd just done a complete loop of this corridor, and I was like, well, there was no key here, so I'm now pretty lost as to where to find the second floor cell key because I felt like I'd explored just about everywhere. So I thought, all right, I'll just play on and I'll keep thinking about it. I'll see if I can remember as I play on, as I see more of the area. And yeah, basically I was just hoping I would remember at this point. But at last I was behind the ballista, so I was able to turn that off. This leads to the back of the ballista. So I was pretty happy to have found this because I wasn't 100% sure how to get to the back of it, to be honest, until now. And up there is where the Fool's Idol boss is, but I didn't want to do that just yet. I wanted to complete this area first, and obviously turn off the ballista and get all of the items that it was guarding. I also hadn't been conscious to keep freeing up my weight. Item burden of 73.6 is way too high for a no-death armorless playthrough. I needed to be as light as I possibly could be to dodge as easily as I could dodge. And yeah, so it was time to free up some space again. I could still see that item over there that I hadn't obtained yet, and I couldn't remember how to get to that, and I speculated however you get to that, maybe that's where the second floor cell key is. But since I couldn't remember how to get to it, and I could remember what I had to do out in this area, I thought, well, I'll do this area first, and I'll see where that leads. So the first tower is this one, and it makes you dizzy as hell running up it. I didn't actually know it was at the end of this one. Maybe some items, maybe some weapons. I had no idea. I couldn't remember. I know the other tower on the opposite side leads to a dude who he's conjuring spells, and if you leave him alive, he can heal or resurrect the Fool's Idol boss during your boss fight. So I knew I had to go and kill him to prevent that from happening. But on this side, I wasn't entirely sure. I was hoping there'd be a second floor cell key, but yeah, I wasn't really sure what I was running into here. So it turned out it was just a silver catalyst and an armor set, which was useless to me, so I just sent all of that off to storage straight away. I backtracked a little this way just to stare at the area and see if I could remember how do I get to that item, or is the 2F cell key somewhere around here that I don't know about or I can't remember, but still nothing was coming to me. So I decided I would go and I would kill the liar, which is he's some kind of conjurer that helps the Fool's Idol boss. And then I thought, well, maybe I meant to get out there, but no, I don't think he ever meant to get out there. So I thought I'll kill this guy, and then that will be and I'll clear the area all the way up to the boss, and that way there'll be no enemies around, and I can just run around and search and find what I need if I haven't already found it. It's really important to kill this liar this Sorcerer Conjurer that's at the end of this. If you don't do that, the Fool's Idol boss fight will be a lot harder. So I came here to kill this dude to make the boss fight easier, but while I was here I saw this and I remembered, oh yeah, there's a key here, and I thought for a moment that was the key to open Lord Riddell's cell. So I thought finally I had it and it was time to go back and open his cell, but spoiler alert, that is not the key for Lord Riddell's cell. That's the key for Sage Freak's cell. But I wasn't thinking about Sage Freak at this point, I was thinking about Lord Riddell. And yeah, I was pretty sure that was the key for his cell, so I decided to head back to open it. And I also knew there was a Black Phantom down here somewhere, and as soon as I landed, an arrow shot straight past my body. I didn't want to fight the Black Phantom yet, I wanted to go and open Lord Riddell's cell. I thought I'll deal with the Black Phantom on the way back when I fight the boss. So I make it back to the cell and it tells me it's locked. And I go, no, you've got to open. I picked up the key. So I press it again and it tells me it's locked again. And right about now, I'm utterly bewildered that there's rubble in front of this and I can't get to the other items. And I've got the key from the Fool's Idol liar guy. And I try this again thinking, no, it's got to be wrong. But yeah, and now I'm completely bewildered and I thought, all right, somewhere along the line, there's another key I need and it's probably the key in the Tower of Latria that opens Lord Riddell's cell. But in thinking that at this point, because I was so confused about what was happening, I totally forgot that Sage Freak was in another cell. And yeah, so at this point, I'm just really wandering around, stumbling around, trying to think, what the hell have I forgotten? Where the hell do I go? I'm staring down there, I'm looking around, I'm thinking, man, Prison of Hope is so confusing to me. I'm missing a key, I have no idea where I haven't been. I have no idea where this key could be. And I thought, and I don't know why I don't have the key, because what did I miss in the Tower of Latria? I thought, I don't know. A lot of the game was coming back to me the more I ran through each of these levels, but at this exact moment in the game, I was totally lost. So because I was totally lost, I pretty much said, all right, I'm just going to go and do the boss fight and I'll think about all of this later because I'm trying to do as much of the game as I can, but if I just can't remember how to do certain aspects of the game, then I'm just going to have to forget about them. And I think that's a good time to end this part. I'll continue on fighting with the Black Phantom and the Fool's Idol boss at the start of part 17. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you there.